back to my channel. Today I'm going over my must-have palettes for spring. I guess not really must-haves, but just palettes that I know that I personally really think of spring when I look at them, palettes that I can't wait to use when it's springtime, and I have quite a bit. Before we get started, this look I actually did film. I'm currently filming a 3 looks in 1 using the Morphe 35i, and this is one of them that I came up with. And speaking of favorite palettes for spring, we're gonna start off with this guy. I know if you followed me for a while, you know that this is kind of a love-hate relationship. I struggle with this palette, but I still like it because you get so much variety and the colors are perfect for spring. You have these pastel colors and you can really create that kind of trio pastel look. They also have some very beautiful duochromes. It makes me laugh because when I did my full in-depth review on this palette, someone called the duochromes are more topper shades, so you don't get a lot of background pigment to them, but someone called them fart sparkles. So ever since then, I call those types of shades fart sparkles, and there's a lot of those fart sparkles within this palette. But you also do get a pressed glitter. You just get so much variety, but also just these shades are so perfect for spring. So it's not really the palette that I would recommend for a beginner. I think you might struggle a little bit, but still very beautiful, perfect for spring. The next one is the Flower Bomb palette from Midas Cosmetics. I do plan on doing a full in-depth review or a 3 looks in 1. Let me know down below which one you want to see first. But I actually got this palette sent to me courtesy of Midas Cosmetics. I'm an affiliate with them, and you can use my code GLITTER to get 20% off. But honestly, I can't wait to use this palette more. Back in December, I started filming a 3 looks in 1, and then we had gone away for like Christmas to Missouri for a couple of weeks, so I never got back to filming that, but I might just start all over again and maybe I'll just film one look. I don't know, we'll see. But this palette screams spring. So you have your pinks, you have your lilacs, you have your minty green shades, you have your light blues, just all of this. It's so beautiful. And then you also even have some more like pastel-y glitters. So I highly recommend this palette. It's definitely a more fun one. Every time I think about wanting to go back and use a palette again, this is high on my list. So I cannot wait to use this again. Another palette is the Jawbreaker palette from Jeffree Cosmetics, and this one's great for summer but also spring because it does have a lot of pastel-y shades in there. If you look at these rows, there's a lot of pastels. You could even create this type of look, but honestly it'd be easier and way more pigmented than using this Morphe 35i palette. I wish I had started off doing a 3 looks in 1 pastel, or just 3 looks in 1 just with this palette in general for spring. Maybe I'll do a spring look with this palette because you could easily do the tri pastel color. I mean, they're so pigmented. This bubblegum shade is the most pigmented right off the bat pink shade I've ever used in my life. This just, every time I think about the Jawbreaker palette, I think of it as one of my favorite palettes, period, and we'll bust it out for spring. So the Jawbreaker is definitely in my list for I will use it for the springtime palette. Next one is a Kylie Cosmetics palette. This one is actually from her summer collection. I don't even know what it's called. I don't even see a name on it. But it looks like this. It's from her summer collection last year, and it's perfect for like neutrals for spring, but also you get these peachy shades and then like with a pop of purple. So honestly, it's kind of screams a little bit more spring to me, and I think that this would be very beautiful for a neutral peachy eye look. So this Kylie Cosmetics palette, I did really like it. I do have a full in-depth review on this one as well, so go check that out. I'll link all my reviews next to the palettes if I have one. If not, I'll just leave a link to the palette and where you can get it. The Sugar Pill palette, I recently reviewed it, and I told you guys that looking at it, it looks like little Easter eggs. Like, it just screams spring. There isn't a more spring palette in my opinion. Every single one of these shades is like so spring, and I just really like it, and it has this very pink blush, and I'm obsessed with this palette. Again, I did do a full in-depth review. I plan on doing maybe another look with it. They do also have a more neutral toned one, which I'm highly interested in, but I really love this palette. It's just so cute, and I just could totally see creating spring looks with this palette. It is a little bit more on the pricey side, but I think it is beautiful. Now, I have a ton of ColourPop, but we're going to wait to get to that till the end. we'll just group all the ColourPop palettes together. The Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette is perfect for spring if you like lavenders and lilacs, because that is mainly what half of this palette consists of. And you also have this kind of periwinkle shade, so if you're into really pretty light purple lavender colors and you just like really pretty shimmers, this one is beautiful. Plus I love the Jeffree Star Cosmetics formula. It's just really good. But of course I do have an alternative to this for lilacs in the futures, like in the end of this video, so keep watching because I have a much more affordable option. The last not ColourPop is from Folklore. They came out with the Sunrise palette a while back and I did do a full in-depth review. This one I feel like is more for very peachy tones. I feel like it's half new nudes dupe, half not, because you have these very peachy coral-esque tones in there as well, but mixed with those deeper mauves. So this one I think would be great for a peachy coral type of look, slash also if you want to do a deeper mauve-y type of look. And it's very affordable and I really liked the quality of these shadows. So this is from Folklore Beauty and I'll leave my review down below. Alright, we're getting into ColourPop. So I have a lot of ColourPop. You guys know I love ColourPop. I review ColourPop all the time. I feel like this is going to be in everyone's spring palettes must have if you own it from ColourPop. It was from their last spring collection, not this year, but I think last year or the year before. And it's called their Sweet Talk palette. First of all, even the packaging screams spring, but they're just these beautiful light peachy-esque shades. You have some very beautiful shimmers. This was the first time ColourPop added a pressed glitter in it and I was so excited, but really it gets me excited because I love the more peachy pink shades and this has a lot of those, especially just in springtime. Those are my favorite types of shades. Aside from lavenders, I love lavenders, but this one is definitely, every time I think of spring, I think of this palette. A newer release, we have the ColourPop Sailor Moon palette. Now this one has, these ones are more of your brighters and I could see if someone thought more for summer. I think it'd be great for summer and spring, but if you want to do a little bit more brighter than pastels but be a little bit colorful, I think this one's great for that because you have this beautiful duochrome purple and then you have some yellows and peaches and corals and they're just so so pretty. And then you have these beautiful neutral shades, so if you just wanted to be light and peachy for spring, this one would definitely give you that. This is sold out right now. I was gonna give away my I swatched one of the shades in it, but I decided during this coronavirus time I'm not going to do that. I think I might wait for it to come back in stock and then just buy you guys one because I just don't feel comfortable giving one away that I touched. I think it's just a really weird time to be like, oh, here, you guys want this used makeup. I was doing it mainly for anyone who wanted just to have it in their collection, you know, collectors, but I don't know, it feels like extra weird now doing it around this time. Alright, so like I was saying, the good alternative for the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette would be the Lilac You Lot palette. I found quite a few dupes for the shimmery purple shades in that palette in this palette. And I did do a side-by-side by all my ColourPop 9-pound palettes to the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette. And this one is one of my favorite 9-pound palettes they have, period. I absolutely love this, but if you are a lavender eyeshadow fanatic, you need this in your life. It's only $12. They have these beautiful duochrome purple shades. It's so pretty. So if you love lavender and you love duochrome, this is a must have. Do not sleep on this. This is probably my favorite 9-pan palette from ColourPop, honestly. The next one, and I think this is probably my second favorite, I haven't even used it that much, but I hope that since now it is springtime, I can dive into this more. Maybe I'll do a 3 looks in one with this one because I love this palette so much, and it is their Mint to Be. If you are looking for some good mints, this one is perfect. This Mint to Be palette is honestly so unique because in most palettes, as I discussed in my review, you only get a couple of mints. It's very rare that you see this many mints in a palette. Even like 3 mints in a palette is pretty rare. And so I'm sure and certain that most of you don't have a lot of mints in your collection, and this is just an easy way to do that. The quality was amazing and I really loved this palette so much. It's beautiful and it's going to be perfect for spring. I thought it'd be really cute to actually mix these two palettes together and come up with a look. I think they'd look really pretty together. I didn't think I'd pull this into this, but here we are. The Making Mauves, I think, is for someone who wants to celebrate spring in a little bit more of a grungy way. Maybe bright colors aren't really your thing. This is some cool toned mauve shades so that you're able to still pull off some pretty light shades, but a little bit more in a grungier way. I did do a full in-depth review, and this one definitely is a little bit more for the grunge. Now, if you're looking for a very pretty, just light and pink fuzzy type of look, I would suggest the Blush Crush one, which is more pink and a little bit more wearable. Here they are side by side. Here's the Making Mauves and here's the Blush Crush. These I think would be great for spring for if you're looking for a little bit more wearable and you don't really want to get bright and crazy and loud like I am willing to do. Lastly, for a complete just neutral palette, the Going Coconuts palette from ColourPop I think is perfect because you can pair some bright lips with this, some really rosy pink cheeks, and you just have this very light, muted, neutral palette. And I really loved this palette, and I think it would go beautiful with if you're wearing spring colors. It just is very easy to wear and pull off. So this is what I would recommend for a neutral spring palette as well. I just really love this one. It's probably my favorite neutral palette I have from ColourPop so far. So that concludes my favorite palettes for spring. I had a lot of them, but I really wanted to present you guys different options. Let us know down below what your go-to palette for spring is, and I will check it out. And you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!